Hello, Earthling peeps out there. I finally have another video. And before I get into my messages from my video, if you are new to my channel and you find that you like what you see on this video, and maybe you scrolled and seen some of my other videos, if you can hit like and subscribe, that will greatly help the algorithm. I do apologize if it's noisy out here, but it's certainly more comfortable than being in the car and doing it. I love the energy with nature and stuff around me, so you might hear some noises from time to time during the video, and well, I'm outdoors and that's how it goes. But anyway, so yes, if you can, hit like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And those of you who have, thank you, thank you. This helps to get the video messages more out there, the messages that I feel I've been guided to give through my channeling. And we try to keep it all positive and love and light. And the reason for this is uniting humanity helps us to all feel embraced and welcomed into the divine collective consciousness. And that's so important. So important. And especially with everything that's going on in the world right now, we need some positive stuff, right? So that's what I try to do with these messages I put out there. Anyhow, I want to show you this. One of my friends gave me this for Christmas along with some other stuff, and I just love it. He's an ET in modern human style clothing. I like to think of that as maybe after the big reveal, and that when humanity can finally, when we've reached that point where we're not hating each other and attacking each other, that when our star beings feel comfortable enough to be connected with us here and that, you know. So he's like just kind of going with the modern human fashion, I guess you want to say. I don't know if it's so modern. This kind of reminds me more of like the 90s, but that's okay. It's still totally cute, right? So anyhow, was one of my gifts for Christmas this year, and I absolutely love it. Anyhow, today's video, and now we got a horn honking away. Somebody's car alarm is going off, so sorry for that. It is what it is, right? Sorry but not sorry. Okay, I keep remembering that. Don't apologize. So it's just loud and annoying though. So, but it is what it is. We're outside and I'm among nature, so even with all the other things, cars, airplanes, things like that, that's okay. We're still doing the video. So anyhow, one more thing I want to mention. I'm still going to work on a video. I'm going to need the help with my husband with this. The doctor who had the retreat that I attended last weekend, I was sent some pictures and some information, but I want it to look very professional and that when I put that video out. So that video will be coming. I have to collaborate between her and my husband and all that, and also with the other one who my doctor friend Melanie Barton had introduced me to, which was his name is Kevin. I don't remember his last name, but his name is Kevin, and he has a farm. I didn't get a chance to check out this farm, but they're both kind of working along the same lines with with this whole thing with having a retreat that heals mind, body, and spirit, right? And everything from Reiki to detoxing to they're also connected with or Dr. Melanie Barton is connected with the energy room and that, where you can do healing that doesn't involve shooting a bunch of chemical drugs in our bodies and that. So anyways, yeah, it's really good. The Nashaway retreat, and that is what she's trying to get out there for everybody, because it's going to be a fantastic place with cabins to rent and just the whole 9 yards. I don't know the specifics. That's why I've got to get with them. I don't know if, like, there's going to be package deals and all this kind of thing, but it'll be very educating and healing and all the things that are to help humanity and help us too with our gifts. Okay, everybody has these gifts with their intuition. We all have, like, maybe different, we're not all going to have the exact, how should I put it, we all have these gifts, but we specialize in certain ones. Some people it's telekinesis, some people it's telepathy, some people it's channeling, some people it's, or you could have more than one, a combination of them. And it's to help people to embrace their gifts and use them. We were given these gifts, we were blessed with these gifts in order to help each other and help humanity, and to be more connected with the divine collective consciousness. So anyhow, today's story that I'm going to share with you is about a topic I have touched on before that I call soul memory. Soul memory, from what I have found out through channeling, and that is not your conscious memory, okay? But we're all made up of energy, and each lifetime that we do, a fragment of that lifetime attaches itself to our soul. So it's a soul memory, right? And so consciously, you might not remember yourself in these lives. I mean, we have had some amazing stories out there where there are some children in that actually remember things like being on the Titanic, or remember being in World War I or World War II and things like that, as a military person or something, right? But for most of us, the only thing that we tend to get sometimes is deja vu. We'll get a feeling of deja vu. But there's another interesting thing too. Our dreams tell so much more. A lot of times when we have these dreams, we tend to think that, it's just a rambling of things of your mind, and that, and true that the minds do scramble things up, but there are hidden messages in our dreams. Now, I believe that the reason that we cannot, most of us, we don't fully remember any past lives and stuff that we had, and then of course you get people saying, no, no such thing. That's fine if that's what they want to believe, but from what I have gotten through my channeling and stuff, past lives is very real, okay? And but the reason that we don't remember is because we are supposed to, this is where we have to listen to our soul, okay? And listen to our higher self and what we're being told, okay? So we do get hints, though, about our things, and that's where they can come through dreams. So, for instance, you know how when you have these dreams and you'll see people and they'll feel so familiar in the dream, but when you wake up, you're like, I've never seen that person before in my entire life. And actually, maybe not in this life, you didn't. But it's highly likely that these people that you're talking with and seeing in your dreams are people from your past lives. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to come in, there's little hints in there, but for the most part, you're going to probably see them in modern day clothing. You're not going to see them in the style clothing maybe of that time when you were around them. And I think the reason for that is, again, they're giving you little hints, but we come to Earth, it's a learning platform, okay? So if we were to just automatically know everything, it's not going to benefit our soul growth. We come here to learn, to expand our souls, right? To expand ourselves with the divine collective consciousness. So that's my take with what I have channeled in that and what I've received as far as our fragments that attach the our soul memory, the little fragments of our past lives that attach to our light bodies. Okay, our soul, our energy, right? Our light bodies. So here's another interesting thing. My sister, I remember her telling me about a dream. I don't even know if she'll remember this or not, but she had had a dream, and it involved, I think she said it was Walter Matthau. Now, she never knew Walter Matthau. I can't get his name right. I can't talk right. She obviously never knew Walter Matthau in this particular lifetime, okay? However, she probably knew him in a past life. And for my sister, she doesn't believe in any of this, and that's fine, to each his own. She's atheist, and that's her choice. I'm not going to put down anybody for what they believe, okay? If that's what they want to believe, then, and that's what they feels good for them or whatever, then who am I? I'm not here to judge anybody, okay? So anyways, but what I get is that she had a past life with him, okay? And that doesn't necessarily mean that he was a he back in that past life, because we can do lives, as as a male or a female. We might have some lives where we're more the opposite sex than this sex, or we might have more where this sex, and maybe just a couple lives where we're the opposite sex, right? It doesn't matter. These are our avatar bodies. What matters is our consciousness, our soul expansion, and experiencing different paths, different ways of life. We might be poor in one life, and we might be extremely wealthy in another. And how we handle that will be what will lay out for our next soul life contract that we will have on this planet, and those that we interacted with, right? Now, we're not going to always incarnate as human. This is what I've been told. We can be ETs, ET guides, all that kind of thing. And even ETs have their own contracts and understanding, and that even if they might be very technical, I can never get this word out, well, you know what I'm saying, more advanced than us, does not mean that they're just completely perfect and don't have any lessons of their own that they have to learn, okay? They just might not have the, when you're going through the human experience, you are going completely naked. Like, I'm not talking about your body being naked, but I mean you are totally going with a naked experience of being very vulnerable and having, agreeing to some things you'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I agreed to this and that and the other, you know, but it's all part of the learning experience. So with them, their soul contract, when I mean, not us too, we can come back, like I said, it is an ET and that, but it's not, we don't, at least from what I've gathered, there is, I'm not saying that they don't get trauma, right? Because you have bully ETs and all that, right? That bully other ET races and that. But from what I gather, it's not like, the experiences aren't quite as traumatic as what we agree to on Earth, which is why I've been told why our experiences are so special, like to be a human, and that it takes a lot of courage, and but it's for evolving our souls, it's huge, right? So, and it's just, the human experience is very, very precious. This is what I've been told. So there's that. Anyhow, when I was getting back to with my sister and that, with Walter Matthau. Now, he appeared as Walter Matthau, right? He didn't appear as, you know, Joe Blow, because she wouldn't have recognized him at all. But it was like a little hint, okay? Now, obviously she doesn't believe in all his past lives or anything like that, and that's fine, okay? But I feel like that was a hint to her, you know, that they knew each other in a former life. But he wasn't Walter Matthau, and he didn't look like Walter Matthau. And like I said, he could have even been a woman, you know, in that past life where she knew him. So this is my take on everything. And by the way, any of this, if it resonates with you, great. And if it doesn't, hey, keep on scrolling. There's plenty of other videos out there by other intuitives. This is just my take and what I feel I have been guided to give. Okay. So now I'm going to go on to my next message, and this has nothing to do about reincarnation, okay? But I found this to be very interesting because, oh my gosh, I kept hearing the name going over and over in my head, and I realized, I was like, okay, wait a minute, I'm being contacted here, okay, by this being. And at first, when I was hearing the name, I thought it was a maybe well, at first I was just thinking, why am I hearing this name? And then I was thinking, okay, it sounds like a human name, but it doesn't. So at first I wasn't sure, and then I was getting like these Scandinavian type vibes and that, but then I found out it wasn't. It was just that this being's name sounds this way, okay? But the name I got was, hang on, Shlisvana. Shlisvana. Now, when I tried to research the name, when I Googled it, it said there are names that sound like it, but they're not. There's no name known as Shlisvana. Okay, so Shlisvana, I started to tune in because I was like, okay, she's obviously trying to get a hold of me here, because I keep hearing, when I tell you this is no connection to ice, okay? But they are referred to as the ice people. This is what she told me. And her species, I am getting Pluto. I've been getting Pluto vibes, okay? And Pluto is extremely cold. However, their bodies are designed for those kind of temperatures, and actually warmer temperatures would be pretty much deadly for them, okay? So it was really neat because Shlisvana was showing me just like this amazing city and that, where she comes from. And from what I was told, now her skin, they look very humanoid, but her skin was a powder blue, okay? A powder blue in color. Average height, Okay, I didn't see them being extremely tall or short, just average height, like us. And then, in fact, I'm getting that there are some taller ones, and they are more up, more north from them. And this is really cold, right? But she also let me know that the higher the elevation and more north, their skin is extremely white. Now these um, beings, their skin is not like ours, and you've probably heard me talk about this type of skin before, but it's really thick. It's thick like hide, like the hide of you know, um, it's that leather like hide, and it's very thick, and that's because it is designed for these very icy cold temperatures. But yeah, so it just kind of, I think she was just, she might have some messages later on, but for now, um, she decided to make her appearance to me. And I get the feeling that maybe she came in to work, because like I told you before, I have been told that we have teams that actually work around us. You know, we have protectors, and we have those who are guiding us, and they're not all going to be human spirits. We're going to have all sorts of races and that. And some, you have your core team, and then you have those who might um, come into your team that are only there for a temporary position or whatever, and then when they've gotten over what needs to be done for you, then they step away. So anyhow, I just wanted to tell you that. Oh, and I'm going to show you these. Okay. And I've got to be so careful because I don't want to. I keep them as the bag ripped, and I have not replaced the bag. But let me see if I can take these out. I have. I'm going to take that one out. I had different stones that appeared around my yard when I was writing my second novel on the When Life and Dreams Meet series, the one that's called Sobek's Return, and there's a part about it in it about a dress being made of precious stones. And after I wrote that, I started finding precious stones always by my feet. When I would get ready to feed our ducks, they just kept appearing nearby my feet. This is a piece of one. This is why I had him in a bag, because my cat Stinkerdoodle, when I didn't have him in a bag, he decided he was going to kick my stones off the floor, and one had shattered into pieces. There's a whole story on that. But this is part of a crystal. So they weren't all stones. Some of them were actually crystals. And it used to be a nice big, not big, but it was a crystal. This one to me looks like tiger's eye. Some of them are polished, and some of them are the raw stone. That's what's so wild. and not even from Florida. You know, these stones were appearing like, and it was funny because it was originally, well, I said I wasn't going to go into the story, but it was originally 9 stones, and my birthday happens to be March 9th, and it was like 2 weeks prior to my birthday, like every other day, stones were appearing by my feet, and there ended up being 9 stones. And then I got bummed when a 10th stone happened. When I found a 10th stone. So basically I'm sharing you the whole story right now. Anyway, so when I found the 10th stone, I got bummed because I was like, oh man, I thought this had to do about my birthday. Well, here's the funny thing. Now, remember, these beings in that, time is not linear. Humans, we measure time in linear, right? Later that day in the evening, that was when Stinkerdoodle decided to kick my stones off, causing one to shatter. So it brought me from 10 stones back down to 9. Okay, and that one that shattered, of course, was a crystal. It's a light greenish yellow color. I don't remember what kind they said that when I was looking in the book, looking up stones in the book. I got a lot of moonstones in here. But anyways, I have this whole bag of stones that I don't want to spill. I have one that is, let me see if I can find it now. I have one I have moonstones, and then I have one that's a ruby, but it's not. I believe it's ruby, but it's in a raw. I mean, a raw form. And this one is amethyst, um, purple amethyst, I think it is. So, which is really, really cool. I don't know if you can see it. That was also by my feet. And that. So I just wanted to share that. But the reason why I wanted to share that is because um, Shlisvana told me that one of the things, they've been around, by the way, from what she told me, they're a very old race. And they've been around for a long time, okay? And while they can't, I mean, if they come here, they have to have a protective bubble around them because of the warmer temperatures, okay? They can't, um, I don't know, their bodies can't adapt to it. So they have this protective bubble around them if they do appear. But she also said that one of the signs, and I don't know, it hasn't happened for me, but because I know where I have been reminded many, many times where my stones came from. But uh, and I don't have anything like this. It's a beautiful. It's funny because I was given when I went to the retreat, I was given a very special crystal uh, from from my very dear friend of mine, and it uh, this was not how do I put it? This was not your typical crystal, okay? It was found near or under or near pyramids, I guess, over in the South America, okay? But anyways, the reason why I'm bringing this up is Shlisvana said that one thing that they will do, and this is probably why how this all kind of connects, is they will leave one by your feet sometimes, and it's like a whitish crystal, real clear kind of stone and crystal, and they've been doing this for a long time, and this is just letting humans know that, and the energy in them is really, really strong, and it's just their way of connecting with us, of this race of beings. Now, I didn't get the actual name of the being, but just that they are referred to, if you were going to say in English terms, the ice people. So, but maybe somebody out there has had one of these crystals by their feet. They're a very powerful crystal, and it has the same properties of pretty much like the crystals that we have here. So that was from my understanding. So I don't know. I don't get everything. When I'm channeling, I get bits and pieces, and I try to put it all together. And that's funny because it made me think about my earlier topic here to do with our past lives and that, right? It's a puzzle. And we have to put the puzzle all together. And the reason, that's what I needed to bring up, and so I'm bringing it up now. Our past lives and that, with those puzzle pieces and that, when we see these people or beings or whatever in our dreams that we have, or actually these beings, you could have ET beings and they'll appear as human and that, because that's what you're going to be able to relate to the most. So, one second. Sorry about that. No, not sorry. It was just something I had to do. Now I forgot what I was saying. Oh, so our former selves and that, or the people that we engaged with back from these past lives, and that whether they're ETs or humans, obviously they're going to look more like humans rather than ETs usually, and that's just for people's comfort zone and that, right? So, but what it is they also give little hints in our dreams for maybe how we interacted with them. Did we treat them the best way they should have been treated? Or do we have dreams too where we might see these, and maybe there wasn't where we mistreated them or anything, but maybe there was a certain message in there from our past life that we need to remember. Maybe it was something also to let us know we're on the right track, or something that we need to maybe look into, maybe a project or something like that. It's all part of the puzzle. Okay, well, I'm going to let you go now because we're at 30 minutes, a little over 30 minutes. So I send out light, love, peace, happiness, joy, wherever you are in the world. I love you guys. Peace. Take care.